Hey everybody, welcome to my top 20 best movies of 2017. So, I gotta say, 2017 was a really great year for movies. I saw a lot of really good movies that I really enjoyed, and I'm glad I'm finally making this list. Although now it's July, and I'm sorry for the that I didn't do this in like January or whatever, but I actually just got a webcam and I didn't want to make a top 20 video on my cell phone. But so, anyways, but before we get into the list, I just want to say that this is well, just so you all know, in case of you any don't know, this is not these are not the best movies of 2017 according to Rotten Tomatoes or public opinion or critics' opinion. This is my personal pick for the best movies of 2017. These are the movies that I enjoyed the most. So, all right. So here we go. But right before we get into the list, I have some honorable mentions. These are movies that were really good, but didn't quite make the list. And my honorable mentions are Alien Covenant, Atomic Blonde, Daddy's Home 2, Darkest Hour, Despicable Me 3, Dunkirk, Ferdinand, Geostorm, The Hitman's Bodyguard, the Lego Batman Movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Triple X Return of Xander Cage. Those were all really good movies that I really had a great time watching, but just couldn't quite make the list. So, and let's get on with the movies that did make the list. So here we go. So, coming in number 20 is Baywatch. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are surprised that this is on my pick for the best movies of 2017 because I know this movie got a lot of bad reviews and people hated this movie. I really enjoyed Baywatch. I really thought it was really good. I mean, Baywatch wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be, but it was still really good in my opinion. So that's why it's right here on this list. Dwayne Johnson always plays a character I really love. Well, except for Doom, because his character in that movie was a bastard. But anyways, his character named Mitch Buchanan in this movie, I really liked him a lot. He was awesome. And then Matt Brody, played by Zac Efron, he was really good. And then you got those two really sexy women in this movie. You got Alexandra Daddario, really sexy woman, and Kelly Kabasco, whatever, that blonde woman. Yeah, she's really sexy too. Well, the only two really sexy women there in this movie. Although also there's that one part where you got Charlotte McKinney, who's actually the hottest in this movie, but who's a model in case any of you don't know her. But so yeah, so you got some really sexy babes in this. You got really three really sexy babes in this movie. Except only one of them is in just one part of the movie. But anyways, I mean this movie was really good, and then the actress, I can't remember her name, but the actress who played the main villain, she was good. Although there actually wasn't a whole lot of villains, which yeah, I probably liked it. One way it probably would have made it better or something like that would have been if they added a lot more villains, but there was only like three. But anyways, I really enjoyed Baywatch. If you hate it, that's fine, but I didn't. I thought it was really good. So, coming in number 19 is Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man Tell No Tales. Now, of course, which is the fifth installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Now, I gotta say, this one was not as good as 1, 2, or especially 3. In fact, I actually think 3 is the best one. But this one was definitely better than number 4 because number 4 was not that good. It really wasn't. And we had, Penelope Cruz and Ian McCain or whatever. Yeah, like that one was okay, but it wasn't really that good. This one had a much better story that made much better sense. When I saw this in theaters, I was like, oh my god, I was like, I was really impressed. And then I don't know how you pronounce her name, but that woman who's in this movie, like she was in the Maze Runner movies, although I haven't seen those, but I know she's in them. I say she's a very sexy woman. She's really hot. I really have to say, but she was really good in this movie. And Johnny Depp continued to be great playing Jack Sparrow, and Jeffrey Rush what was great as well. This movie, and then Javier Bardem, he was good playing the main villain, and he was good playing the main villain in that James Bond movie Skyfall, and I yeah, but yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. Yeah, it blew me away. I had a great time watching it, and that's why I see it on my list. Coming in number 18 is a movie that I was actually hoping would be a lot higher on this list, but I couldn't quite do it. I had to put it on here, and that is Justice League. Now, I gotta say, now I know there are critics that actually hate this movie, but I am glad it did well for the audience because I mean, movies are basically for the audience to see, not really like the critics, but although it's really for everyone to see. But Justice League, I mean, of course, no, it wasn't as good as not as good as like the Avengers and all that, but still had a great time watching it. And of course, my favorite character was of course Batman. Batman is awesome, and Ben Affleck killed it as Batman in this movie just as he was in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. So yeah, and Henry Cavill, he was great playing Superman. Gal Gadot, or how do you pronounce her name? She was great playing Wonder Woman. Like I thought this movie really did it well. And then you got that one actor named Joe Morton who was in like Speed, Terminator 2, and I barely saw him in anything. But then they put him in this movie, and he was actually pretty good. He played Cyborg's father. Like I said, I really did like Cyborg. He was pretty awesome. I'm really anxious to see a solo movie for Cyborg. I'm hoping it's going to be epic. I'm hoping all of it so much, and so yeah, I'm excited for it. And then this year we're getting Aquaman. So yeah, I'm so excited to see Aquaman. There's already a trailer for it. It's on YouTube if you want to look it up. Um, so I'm glad I saw Justice League. I'm glad I saw Justice League, and I am glad it's on this list. So yeah, coming in number 17, Beauty and the Beast. Now I just had to put this on here. I really needed to put this on here. I really had fun watching it. I probably do have to say, yeah, not quite as good as the original animated classic from 1991, but one part in this one that I actually thought was better than the same part from the original was the Gaston song in that tavern where that Gaston and LeFou was singing. I thought that scene in this one was actually better than the original one. In fact, that scene in this one is actually my favorite part because it was like so funny and like so fun to watch and listen to. I I had a really good time. Emma Watson I thought was really good playing Belle. So yeah, and like these and of course for those of you who don't know, Beauty and the Beast is the second highest grossing film of 2017 because the number one highest grossing movie of 2017 was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So yeah, but before that movie came out, Beauty and the Beast took the lead, but not anymore. Now it's the second spot. So which is not really surprising because Beauty and the Beast was a classic back then when it came out. So yeah, and we're gonna be getting well, like because of the success of these live action anime movies based off of the animated classics from the 90s or 80s or 70s or and so on back then. These movies are being success. Like first we had Cinderella, that was a success. Then we had The Jungle Book, which was also good. Then we had Beauty and the Beast, and next year in March we're getting Dumbo, and also next year we're getting The Lion King. So we're getting two. First we're getting Dumbo, and then we're getting The Lion King probably in the summer, but I'm not sure. But and over 20 years ago we had 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close and Jeff Daniels, and that one actually. I just want to say this. I actually think the live action 101 Dalmatians is actually better than the original classic. But I do like the original classic, of course, for 101 Dalmatians. So, but then of course we have these live action Peter Pan movies, but they're not made from Disney. And then we had like we had the Legend of Tarzan. The Legend of Tarzan that was made from Warner Brothers, which I liked, but it could have been better. But but basically we're getting so yeah, we've getting these live action movies for Peter Pan, and we've gotten, and over 20 years ago we got 101 Dalmatians. So but like now we're in the habit of getting these live action movies based off of the animated movies. the anime classics, and they're going to be made by Disney. Like we're getting these movies because they're so successful and people are saying they're so good. Like that's why we're getting them, and I'm glad that's happening because it's great to see how these movies would be like in animation or as live action after we've seen them so many times on as animated movies when we were kids. So yeah, I'm glad Beauty and the Beast made this list, and so yeah, so that's why it's on. So yeah, coming in number 16, Coco. Now, I'm sure a lot of you were probably expecting Coco to be a lot higher on this list. I wish I could, but I saw 15 movies that I liked even more. But Coco, I really did have a great time watching Coco. Coco really blew me away. I loved it. It had a really great protagonist, and it also had and of course it did have a really unexpected twist close before the end of the movie, and it had great characters. The animation, of course, was done great. I absolutely love this movie. Yeah, and also, and this movie could also probably make you fill up in tears. I mean, it didn't make me cry, but I'm sure it made like maybe like a lot of people cry or something. But I mean, there are some kind of like sad moments, but this movie, I like, it was just so good. I had a great time. It was a really great movie that was made by Pixar. And then of course there's still not one movie made from Pixar that I didn't like. Basically every single movie made from Disney Pixar, from Toy Story 1 to Coco, well all the way to Incredibles 2 because it's 2017 now, but all I actually like. I, I mean I mean because although even the Good Dinosaur, although the Good Dinosaur is actually my least favorite Disney Pixar film so far, but yeah, Coco was such a great movie. I had so much fun watching it. I wanted to put it higher, but I couldn't quite do it because there were still just 15 movies I saw more, so that's why I had to put it at 16. Coming in number 15, we have Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Like, same with this. Just like Beauty and the Beast. I just had to put this on here. I had a really great time watching this, and I got Captain Underpants for Christmas, and I actually watched it a bunch of times, and I gotta say, the plot may seem kind of silly in this movie, and there's one thing that goes on in this movie that kind of doesn't really make sense, but and then there's like another thing, a part of this movie that I don't really understand. But everything else about this movie, I had a great time watching. And although how they made this movie, they combined some of the things from a few of the books, like the main villain in this movie. Like this is the first Captain Underpants movie. The main villain in this movie is actually the villain from the fourth Captain Underpants book. And then they had those talking toilets, which were actually in the second. Yeah, the second book. So yeah, they kind of combined things together, and then they made things a little different. I mean, I was fine with that, but like I said, there were a couple of things that were kind of silly and not right. But I still had a great time watching this movie. Kevin Hart did great playing the voice of George. Thomas Middleditch or whatever did great playing Harold, and Ed Helms was great playing Captain Underpants, also known as Professor or Mr. Crump, who was the really mean and nasty principal. I mean, when you read these novels, like you can just see that the principal is just like, oh my god, what a total psycho. It's like, you just hate this guy. It's like, so yeah. But I had a great time watching this movie, and the animation was so beautiful in this movie. So yeah, I'm hoping that I would think they would, but I'm hoping they'll make a second one, and I'm actually hoping it'll be a lot better than this one, because I mean, like I said, this one, this is not exactly a flawless movie, but it is still really good, and so I love this movie. So yeah, Coming in at number 14, we have Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. This, when I saw this in theaters on New Year's Eve with a whole bunch of other people, like, I had a great time. This movie was really funny. A lot of people were laughing, including me. Dwayne Johnson was great, and so was Jack Black and Kevin Hart and what's that woman's name? I can't remember her name, but she was really good in this movie. This movie, like, and and for those of you who don't know, who haven't seen this actually is a sequel to the first Jumanji with Robin Williams, because in the first one, Robin Williams' character's name is Alan Parrish. You hear that name mentioned in this movie. So yeah, this is a sequel to the first one, and this is not as good as the first one, but it's still really good. And like in the first one, it was a board game, and this one is now a video game, and you actually see how it's like inside the video game, which is really awesome. And Nick Jonas, he was. I'm glad they put Nick Jonas in the movie, and he was really good in this movie. I had a great time watching this movie, and of course Dwayne Johnson was my favorite character. I had a really great time watching this movie. Yeah, this movie is really good, and like this movie, and of course that. Like, there was like a couple of things that were kind of like similar to the first one, like a kid that was missing and was really famous about it. So yeah, this movie I thought was really good. So yeah, coming in at number 13, Transformers: The Last Knight. It really makes me mad that people hate these movies. I think these movies are so fucking awesome. I love these movies. It definitely pisses me off that people put this movie on their top 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever worst movies of 2017. No, this Transformers: Last Night was total complete dope. I had a great time watching this movie. Although I do have to say, this movie actually is not as good as any of the other ones. But this movie was still good. In fact, no, Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, is still, of course, the best Transformers movie. In fact, my order from most favorite to least favorite Transformers movie, here's my order from most favorite to least favorite. So, Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon, Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, Transformers 1, and finally Transformers 5, The Last Knight. So yeah, yes, I actually think that Transformers Age of Extinction is better than the first one. Yes, I don't care what all of you all think. I actually do think that Transformers Age of Extinction is better than the first one. They're all awesome. But yeah, either way they're awesome. But like since the second one, all the sequels, I mean the first, I had a great time watching the first one. The first one was awesome when it came out in 2007. And then when the second one came out, I like since the second one came out, all the sequels continue to be better than the first one, and continue to make the first one look like nothing. Until this one came out. This one actually didn't. This one actually failed to be better than the first one, and it doesn't have much of the. I don't know. This does have a little bit of flaws. It actually could have been better. I mean, well, the one thing in this movie is that like when I saw this movie in theaters, and even when you watch this movie on Blu-ray, like the screen, like it goes from full screen, widescreen, full screen, widescreen. Like it goes back and forth through that over and over again. Like I don't know why Michael Bay did that, but I don't know. I mean, he really shouldn't do that. I mean, he really should have just kept it at complete full screen. Which, yeah, but like, I don't know. But anyways, Michael Bay should be proud of himself for making this movie. Like, and I've seen people on their work like, Michael Bay, please stop. Like, no, Michael Bay, you keep doing this. You keep making these movies. Although I do have to say, try to make this one, try and make them better. I mean, this one was great. You did a great job making this movie, but this movie still kind of, yeah. It just didn't like get up to that. It just didn't do it like that much. Like it wasn't like it didn't get that high as much as like any of the other ones. But like, yeah, people just hate these movies. And I don't see why. But This movie, just like the others, in this movie, you had a script that made perfect sense. You had great, loving characters. The acting was great. This movie was very well directed, and yeah, and like just like all of them, yeah. The computer generation was completely flawless. Like these movies are just so fucking good. These are such an underrated franchise, and yes, I even think that this franchise is actually better than Star Wars. And like, I'm not really the biggest Star Wars fan. I do like Star Wars, but Transformers, these movies are just so freaking awesome. But so people are just crazy for putting this movie on their top worst movies of 2017, especially if you have this at your number one worst spot of 2017. Then just stay out of my life. Just stay the fuck out of my life. So yeah, fuck y'all for putting this at your number one spot for the worst movie of 2017, because this movie was total dope. I had a great time watching this movie. Transformers Last Night is one of the best movies of 2017, not the worst, and that's why it's right here on this list at number 13. Coming in at number 12, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Now when the first one came out, I had a total blast watching this movie. I was so blown away. The first one was so good. I absolutely loved the first one. This one was really good, but this one was not as good as the first one. And yes, this movie does have a little bit of flaws, to be honest. But Taron Egerton, or whatever his last name is, he just like the first one. He was great playing Eggsy, and Colin Firth had a great return playing Harry, aka Galahad. This movie was so good, and in the first one you had Samuel L. Jackson playing the main villain, who was really good, and Julianne Moore, he was really good playing. She was really good playing the main villain in this movie. But I had a great time. I don't know what much to say except I had a great time watching this movie. It had pretty good action. Like I said, not as good as the first one, but it was still really good. Had a great time watching this, and that's why it's on here. At number 11, we have Baby Driver. Now, here's another movie a lot of you people were probably expecting to be higher on the list. I couldn't put it higher because there were still more movies that I enjoyed even more. But Baby Driver really blew me away. And you know how there's all these bank robbing movies where the main character would be like the leader, or kind of like Grand Theft Auto, like the video games, and like the main character, although more than bank robberies in those video games. But anyways, um, in these movies, like the main character would be like the leader, or like second in command or whatever. Although there's always the driver who they need to stay in the car at the whole time and keep the car running. Although it was not really that much of an important character, but they decided to make this kind of movie where the driver who just stays in the car the whole time is the main character. I do kind of like how they did that, actually, to make the driver feel like it's very important to the audience. And although of course the main character in this movie, he did more than just driving. But like during the heist, he was really just sitting in the car. But like he was doing like in the business and all that, he was doing other things. Like he met then he met that woman played by Lily James, who was a waitress at that diner. So yeah, everyone in this movie was really great. So I'm sure there are a lot of people who think this is the best movie of 2017. I mean, but I'm sorry, but I thought this was, this was really good, but I just couldn't put it higher on this list because I saw 10 movies that I liked that I thought were better than this movie. So yeah, Baby Driver, great movie, thumbs up. Yeah. Coming in number 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, after I saw this movie, I had to think for a while. Which do I like better, the first one or the second one? Well, I decided to go with this one, to be honest. because I don't know. This movie, I had a great time watching this movie. The action was so good. Chris Pratt continued to be great playing Star Lord, and excuse me. And Zoe Saldana or whatever did great playing. What's her name? Can't remember what her name is. But anyways, this movie, I thought this movie really did it really well. I had a great time watching this movie. It is so good. The acting was great. And Bradley Cooper did great playing the voice of Rocket the raccoon, and yeah, so this movie was just so great. I had a great time watching this movie. It's really good, and that's why it's on this list. Coming in number 9, Kong Skull Island. Okay, this movie was awesome. I had such a great time watching this movie, and but besides the fact that I love this movie so much, and from what I heard from some of my coworkers at the movie theater that I used to work at. Besides that, also also because that this movie did really well on Rotten Tomatoes. There were people I've seen on YouTube that added it on one of their dishonorable mentions for the worst movies. Like, are you serious? Like, how was Kong Skull Island a terrible movie? Like I said, it even surprised me because, like I said, it did well on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes is really just one thing, but still it did well. Like Kong Skull Island was such a great movie. This movie was awesome, and I definitely enjoyed the part where shortly after the beginning, where Kong Skull Island, where Kong takes down all those army choppers and all that. It was just so awesome to watch. You know, everyone in this movie was great. Tom Hiddleston was great in this movie, and so was Samuel Jackson, John Goodman, Brie Larson, and even John C. Reilly. I definitely like John C. Reilly's character. He was so good. And then everyone else was good. Thomas Mann, Corey Hawkins, John Ortiz. The only person's acting that actually wasn't very good was Toby Kebbell. Toby Kebbell, yeah, his acting in this movie was actually really bland. He really was. But other than that, everyone else in this movie was really good. Everyone was in this movie was really good. It had some really good action and all that. And besides Kong Skull Island, there's like these other creatures on this island, and that they had to defend themselves from. I had, like, when I saw this in theaters, I had such a really great time watching this movie. It is so good, and the computer generation for King Kong was really good. This movie is so good. I'm glad I made the list. Like, there's absolutely no way that Kong Skull Island would miss my list. This movie was dope. I had such a great time on this movie. Everyone's acting was really good, except for Toby Kebbell, but almost everyone was really great. The action was good. The storylines made good sense. Everything, and just about everything in this movie was great. Love Kong Skull Island. Again, this movie, just like every movie in this movie, gets a big thumbs up. Coming in at number 8 is John Wick Chapter 2. Now, the first John Wick movie was really good. It was awesome. I loved the first one. I actually think this one's better than the first one, to be honest. Like, the action was awesome. And there was like a little Matrix reunion because besides Keanu Reeves, you also had Lawrence Fishburne. So this movie was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And although I like it better when he's like completely shaved and his hair like completely short, like how he looked in Speed and all that. I like him better in that movie. And we're getting John Wick Chapter 3. They probably won't, but if they made him look like that, like how he looked in Speed, with completely shaved, complete short hair. If they made him look like that in John Wick Chapter 3, that would be... I would really love that, but they're probably not going to do it that way. But yeah, I'm so excited for John Wick Chapter 3 because the first two were awesome. So far, the best one is number 2. I had a great time watching this movie. And then that guy, character played by the celebrity that, but played by the actor who's known as Common, who's one of the villains. I thought he was really good. And I gotta say, I didn't expect this character to be that badass because he was pretty hard to beat. Because when John Wick was trying to kick his ass, like yeah, he was pretty hard to beat. So, yeah, but this movie was so good. Had a great time watching this movie. I could go ahead and stop this video right now and just watch it right now because this movie was total awesome. I loved this movie. It is so good. Had a great time watching this movie, and so yeah, John Wick Chapter 2, great movie. Coming in number 7 is I am just so mad that I could not put this movie high on this list. I really, really wish I could put this somehow on my list because Wonder Woman was such an awesome movie, and it was the savior to the DC universe. Because Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad both flopped, although which I'm not happy about because I actually thought Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad were really good. Like first we had Man of Steel, then Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and now Wonder Woman. Honestly, I think they're all awesome. I love all 5 of them. But of course we can't but we can all agree that Wonder Woman is the best one. Wonder Woman was awesome. Gal Gadot was so good in this movie. Chris Pine was also really good in this movie. This movie was so fucking good. The storyline made perfect sense. The action was great. And and the characters were all completely likable. Everything about Wonder Woman was great. Awesome superhero movie. Definitely one of the best superhero movies of this year. And pretty much probably like one of the greatest superhero movies of all time because this movie was just so amazingly great. I had such a great time watching this movie. So there was absolutely no way that this film would miss my list. I absolutely love this movie. It is so good. Coming in at number 6, A Dog's Purpose. I gotta say, I'll never forget when I saw this movie in theaters with my mom and my sister because when I saw this in theaters, like the theater was full and I was sitting in I was in the middle front row of the main, because like I even looked behind me like people were just like crying like people were cause the death scenes. It's like especially this one little girl who was like 7 or 8 or 9 years old. She was sitting directly behind me. She was just a mess. Like, oh my god, like I'll never forget. Like I just want to give her everyone who was crying, like, cause I have a really big heart. I have feelings for people. I just wanted to go. Everyone who's crying, I just wanted to go around in the theater and just give everyone a big hug. But I mean, you can't just go. I mean, you can't really just go around hugging people you don't know because it's weird and creepy and not right. But you know what I mean. Like I just want to just give people a big hug because they were just crying. But this movie actually did make me cry before. But not when I saw it in theaters, which is weird. But A Dog's Purpose was such a great movie. Like I can't believe this didn't get high enough on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, but. So yeah, A Dog's Purpose is one of the most underrated movies of the year. It was so heartwarming, and this is, I have to say, a complete flawless movie. I could not find a single flaw with this movie. I mean, there was not one thing in this movie that was out of place. This movie was so good. Everyone's acting was great. Josh Gad did great being the narrator of this movie. This movie was just so good, so heartwarming, and I absolutely had a great time. And there actually are there are actually 2 characters in this movie that are just easy to hate in this movie. They just piss you off so much. I even remember. After I walked out of the theater when the movie was over, like when there were people leaving, I heard this one girl saying, like he was really pissing me off. yeah, I'm sure it was one of those two characters. I wasn't sure which one, but this movie, but yeah, A Dog's Purpose was such an amazing movie. I absolutely love this movie so much. It is so good. Like this is like A Dog's Purpose is definitely one of the best movies of the year. I had an amazing time watching this movie in theaters, and at times I will watch this. Although this movie, yeah, it can be painful to watch because the death scenes and a couple of the characters that that just make you mad so much. It's just, but yeah, but this film I had such a great time, and I always have a great time watching this movie. This movie is so good. Love A Dog's Purpose, and that's why it's on this list. Coming in at number five, Patriots Day. Now, oh my God, Patriots Day was such a great movie. Mark Wahlberg was really great in this movie. And it was about it was the story about finding the two bombers who are responsible for the Boston Marathon bombing, and like showed like the people like it shows like people like who survived but had like lost their at least one of their arms. It was really traumatizing to see a character like lose that that they had to like had their leg amputated. Like I was like, oh my God, no! It was just, oh my God, and like, but but this movie was just so good. Peter Berg did great directing this movie. He should be proud of making this movie. And the year before he made Deepwater Horizon, which was really good. Like he made like Peter Berg. So far I have not seen one movie I did not like from Peter Berg. Peter Berg made some great movies. He made Patriots Day, really great movie. He made Deepwater Horizon, really good movie. He made Battleship, wow, what an awesome and great movie. And he also made Friday Night Lights, a really good football movie starring Billy Bob Thornton. This movie was so good, and like when you watch and like you can see like even before like but before but before the bombing but before the incident at the Boston Marathon, like when you see the two bombers, like it's gonna be like, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Let's go ahead and do this. Like you just wonder, why do these people think that murdering innocent people is the right thing to do? Like why do these people have to go out and do this? Like why like I mean it's like ugh. Like you just wonder why these people have to do this, have to go around murdering innocent people. It's just, but of course, but as you watch the movie, you shows that this is our country. You cannot fuck with our country. You fuck with our country, we're gonna strike back at you. But that's not what this movie about, striking at another country. Like in this movie, it focuses on finding the two bombers and bringing them to justice. So this movie was so good. I had such a really great time watching this movie. It is so good. Mark Wahlberg, he was great in this movie, and so was Kevin Bacon, John Goodman, J.K. Simmons, and Michelle Monaghan. This movie was so good, and he also had Alex Wolff, who played like the younger, dim-witted bomber, who was also in Jumanji and was the real version of Dwayne Johnson. So yeah, he's back. He's back in this movie on this list. Alex Wolff, you were really good in both of these movies, even Patriots Day. So yeah, this movie was really good. I had such a great time watching this movie. I even own the movie. At times I will watch it to enjoy myself. Awesome movie. Love it. Coming in number 4, we have the final animated movie on this list. That's right. Coming in at number 4 is my pick for the best animated movie of 2017, and that film is Cars 3. Cars 3 is another like this Cars trilogy is such an underrated Disney franchise. I absolutely love these movies. Especially Cars 2. Cars 2 is definitely an underrated movie. Yes, Cars 2 is not as good as the first one or the third one, but it's still a great movie that's very fun to watch. All three of these movies are very fun to watch. Cars 3 is the best one, for sure. Although the only thing that sucks in Cars 3 is that it doesn't have much Mater. I love Mater. Mater is a funny character. And then people don't like Mater. Like, why do people not like Mater? Mater's so good. I love Mater. I like McQueen. He is awesome. I love the Cars movies. And then you also had the yellow car character named Cruz. I gotta say, at first I thought when you first see her, she's a trainer. At first you thought, oh yeah, she's kind of annoying. Like, yeah, I'm glad we don't see her in the movie much. But she turned out to be she actually turned out to be the deuteragonist of this movie. So I was surprised to see that. But yeah, so yeah, I really like her, and you see that she even though she was a trainer, she really didn't want to be a trainer. She wanted to be a racer because of Lightning McQueen. That this movie was, yeah, Owen Wilson did great continuing playing Lightning McQueen. And this movie, these movies are just so great. I had a great time watching these movies. Like, people consider Cars 2 being the worst Disney Pixar movie. Like, no, 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 no. The Disney Pixar movie that people are to like the least is The Good Dinosaur. Because, I mean, I like The Good Dinosaur, but it could have been a lot better. Cars 2 is better than Cars 2 is a great Disney Pixar movie. It's better than The Good Dinosaur. And do you know what else? Do you know what other Disney Pixar movie that Cars 2 is better than? Brave. I like Brave, but Cars 2 is much better than Brave. I mean, Brave is, I like Brave, but to be honest, I think it's overrated. In fact, Brave is actually my second to least favorite Disney Pixar film. Cars 3, well, the Cars movies are better than Brave and The Good Dinosaur. Yes, even Cars 2 is better than those other two Disney Pixar movies. Yes, even Brave. Cars 2 is better than Brave. But still, Cars 3, excellent movie. Definitely one of Disney Pixar's best films. And hands down, the best animated movie of 2017. And the fourth best movie general of 2017. Here we are, my top 3 favorite movies of 2017. Here we are, the top 3. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 3. The Fate of the Furious. Oh my god, The Fate of the Furious. Boy, did I have a great time watching this movie. Even though Paul Walker's gone, which still bugs the shit out of me, this movie, I mean, in my opinion, its predecessor, Furious 7, is still the best one in the franchise. This one is the second best in the franchise. Vin Diesel continued to be great playing Dominic Toretto. I love Dwayne Johnson's character playing Hobbs, and I actually like the fact that they brought Jason Statham to be on the good side when after that he was the main villain in the previous one. Although I gotta say, I actually like it better when Jason Statham plays the good guy, and I'm glad they actually made him be the good guy, even though he did bad things in his life before. But yeah, this movie I had such a great time watching, and you see that Dominic Toretto is with the enemy. But there's an explanation why he was doing it. So yeah, and Kurt Russell's return, he was really good. I had a really great time watching this movie. It is so awesome, especially the final climax, especially the climax in this movie where they're at the at that Russian base. It was awesome. I love this movie. It is awesome, and that's why it's on this list all the way up at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Thor Ragnarok. Now, I gotta say, Thor Ragnarok was just awesome. In fact, Thor Ragnarok is my pick. I wish I could say Wonder Woman is my pick for the best superhero movie of 2017, but I really gotta go with Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was just so awesome, and I still don't know what much to say because I want to go ahead and get to the number 1 video because I'm really anxious for it. And plus, making this video is actually making me kind of tired. So, and I'm a beginner for this, just so you know. I haven't made much videos on YouTube. But Thor Ragnarok, Chris Hemsworth was continued being great playing Thor. And you got Tom Hiddleston was great playing Loki, or Loki, sorry. Not Loki, Loki. Mark Ruffalo was great playing Hulk. This movie was so awesome, and Cate Blanchett was great playing the main villain. Carl Urban was really good. Tessa Thompson was really good. This movie was so good. I absolutely love this movie. It is awesome. Excellent superhero movie. Really good. That's what's on here. Well, guys, here we are. My number one, my pick for the number one best movie of 2017. This last movie blew me away more than any of the other movies. I had such a great time. I had such a great time watching these movies, and yeah, just so y'all know, this is my pick. This is my opinion. So yeah, here we go. My number one favorite movie of 2017 is War for the Planet of the Apes. Is my favorite movie of 2017. Andy Serkis continued to be great playing Caesar. Now, the first one was really good. I really did like the first one. The first one was Rise of the Planet of the Apes was really good. I really did like the first one. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was a whole lot better than the first one for obvious reasons. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was dope. It was awesome. It was so good. I had a great time watching it. This is the best one. War for the Planet of the Apes is actually the best one. I mean, even though it's called War for the Planet of the Apes, it doesn't have much action, whatever. I mean, yes, there's a battle. Well, there's actually two battles in this movie. There's one in the very beginning and one towards the end of the movie. And in this movie, you of course you can see that I mean like there are good humans in the first one. Like there's even a human protagonist and the second one played by Jason Clarke. Although in this one there really is no human. Well, there is a good human, but it's a little girl that's with the apes the whole time. But there's no human protagonist that's as important as Caesar. But in this movie, the apes are the good guys and the humans are the bad guys. But Woody Harrelson was great playing the main villain in this movie. This movie was so amazingly great. It's by far the best Planet of the Apes movie of all time for what I've seen so far. So far the only Planet of the Apes movies I've ever seen in my life are the three prequel trilogy with Caesar and the one with Mark Wahlberg. I've never seen any of the other originals, but these are really good, and especially this one. This is the best. So I did not think that this was gonna be my favorite movie of the year, and it turns out it is. And you see like throughout the whole movie of like Caesar's being held prisoner, and they have to bring out like this. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain this, but like the computer generation was really good, and like if you watch other people's best movies of the year and they put this movie on there, whether if it's at number one or whatever, how they explain why this movie's this good, like I agree with them. You'll see, you'll find out, go watch them and you'll see that whatever they say I agree with, because like I said, I'm a beginner for this, but this movie was so good. I really wish Andy Serkis got nominated for Best Actor, in fact, and I would have wanted him to win. Although I am happy for Gary Oldman to win Best Actor in the Oscars for Darkest Hour. But this movie, I had such a great watching. I love War for the Planet of the Apes. I had a great time watching it, so yes, War for the Planet of the Apes is the best movie of 2017. I love this movie. It is great. Well, there you have it. Those are my picks for the best movies of 2017. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. And let me know, what do you think are the best movies of 2017? Tell me, which movies that came out last year did you think were the best? Which were your favorite? I want to know. Comment below and let me know. And tell me, what are your picks for the best movies of 2017? So, thank you all so much for watching, and if you like this, you can subscribe to my channel and help make the world a better place.